Very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor. Defence Minister has said that the army is free to take decisions in Jammu and Kashmir. That is our top focus this morning. Also, we'll be getting you the details on fresh violence in Saharanpur. Now, 2 senior cops and top officials have been removed. All the details on that and much more in this bulletin, starting with the headlines. Defence Minister says officers are free to take decisions in war-like zone. Response to row over army major tying man to jeep against stone pelters. Fresh violence in Saharanpur in Uttar Pradesh. 3 injured, senior superintendent of police and district magistrate suspended. Union Cabinet clears 7 decisions during meeting on Wednesday. 25-year-old Foreign Investment Promotion Board abolished. 3 policemen killed and 10 others injured in 2 suspected suicide attacks near bus terminal in Indonesia's capital, Jakarta. And India seal place in knockout stage of Sudirman Cup mixed team championship, set to up a quarter-final showdown with the 10 times champions China. Defence Minister Arun Jaitley has said that the army officers are free to take decisions in a war-like zone. Jaitley was responding to a controversy over a major tying a man to a jeep in Kashmir to shield against stone pelters. Arun Jaitley said that military solutions must be provided by military officers and not parliamentarians. Let's take a listen.
How a situation is to be dealt with when you are in a warlike zone, we should allow our army officers to take a decision. They don't have to consult members of parliament as to what they should do under these circumstances.
In more news from Jammu and Kashmir, Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti met Governor N.N. Vora on Wednesday and discussed law and order situation, shelling along the line of control and infiltration attempts by militants and other issues with him. The state has seen unrest and also several militant attacks in the recent past. In the meeting, Vora emphasized the need to ensure that the student community's academic interests are not adversely affected by negative factors and influences. On the other hand, the counter-insurgency operation in Pulwama was called off after militants escaped from the security forces cordon. In another incident, militants shot and critically injured a worker of the ruling PDP in Barzula area of Srinagar. He was shot 3 times from close range outside his house. Meanwhile, in a tit-for-tat move, a Pakistani army released an 87-second video showing heavy damage caused to the Indian military posts across the line of control. The video comes a day after the Indian army released a clip of punitive fire assaults on Pakistani camps. Releasing the video, a Pakistani army spokesperson also alleged that the Indian army had targeted innocent civilians earlier this month. And on to the latest from the missing Sukhoi fighter jet. Helicopters and aircrafts were pressed into service on Wednesday by the Indian Air Force to search for the jet. Remember, it went missing with the 2 pilots on board over Tezpur in Assam. According to Indian Air Force, the search operation continued despite overcast sky and spells of rains and thunder showers in parts of Assam and Arunachal Pradesh, where the plane is suspected to have crashed. Su-30 aircraft with the recce capabilities also being utilized for locating the missing plane. Now, apart from that, 4 groups of the IAF personnel, 9 parties of the Indian Army and 2 teams from the state administration have been deployed for the search. The Sukhoi jet went missing after taking off from Tezpur Air Force Station at 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday. And news from Uttar Pradesh, where the state government has removed 2 senior Saharanpur officials on Wednesday, a day after caste clashes there. Now, Saharanpur senior superintendent of police and district magistrate have been suspended. Several officials were also transferred in the wake of continued violence. Now, fresh violence was reported yesterday, in which 3 people were injured. 1 person was killed and scores were injured in the clash that broke out on Tuesday. Now, 24 people have been arrested so far. The UP government has announced a 15 lakh rupees compensation to the family of the man killed in the violence. Now, mobile and messaging services have also been suspended in the district. The Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that those orchestrating the violence will not be spared. He met the governor and discussed the situation in the district. Now, a 4-member team led by Home Secretary is monitoring the law and order situation.
कि हमने फोर्स जो है वो जिन जगहों पर हमको लगा कि यहाँ फोर्स हमको स्टैटिक स्थायी रूप से लगानी चाहिए वहाँ स्थायी रूप से लगा दिया गया है। मोबाइल पार्टियां लगा दी गई हैं, बराबर राउंड लिया जा रहा है और जा करके लोगों से लोग मिल करके उनसे शांति बनाए रखने में सहयोग करने की अपील कर रहे हैं।
3 FIR, चूंकि कल 3 घटनाक्रम हुए थे, 3 FIR दर्ज की गई है। इसके अलावा भी अगर कोई व्यक्ति कहीं से किसी रूप में पीड़ित है या परेशान है, इस घटनाक्रम से प्रभावित हुआ है, तो वो FIR दर्ज करा सकता है। 24 लोग गिरफ्तार किए गए हैं। ये आइडेंटिफाइड उपद्रवी हैं। अभी हम लोग और भी उपद्रवियों को आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हैं।
अपनी राजनीतिक रोटियां सेकने के लिए बहन मायावती जी वहां गई और उसके बाद फिर एक नौजवान की वहां हत्या हुई है और कुछ लोग घायल भी हुए हैं। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने गहरी संवेदना परिवारों के प्रति प्रकट की है और दुख भी प्रकट किया है और इसमें जो लोग दोषी हैं उनके खिलाफ सख्त कार्रवाई होगी।
एक तरफ प्रधानमंत्री जी दलित उत्थान की बात करते हैं, दलितों के भाजपा के लोगों को भेज रहे हैं, दूसरी तरफ दलितों के खिलाफ अन्याय हो रहा है। तो इसको अगर नहीं रोका गया तो समाजवादी पार्टी सड़कों पर उतरेगी। दलितों की रक्षा के लिए समाजवादी पार्टी हर कदम उठाए।
The present dispensation of the BJP government in UP and in the country is very desensitized to these issues. They are trying to suppress the rising consciousness of the people who are demanding equality, justice, and who want to live with dignity in this country.
The situation in Saharanpur is going completely out of hand. The state government is unable to either maintain law and order, and the worst part is these atrocities on Dalits and minorities are happening in front of the eyes of the police. Police is obviously under instructions not to intervene and protect the innocents. This is something unacceptable.
News from the national capital now. The Aam Aadmi Party on Wednesday met Election Commission officials for discussion and clarifications regarding the EVM challenge. Now, the party has discussed questions on the reliability of EVMs. The meeting comes after the poll panel invited 7 national and 49 state parties to participate in the challenge to prove that EVMs cannot be hacked. The challenge, remember, begins on 3rd of June. Several parties have alleged that EVMs were tampered with in the recently held assembly polls in the 5 states as well as the Delhi civic polls. The parties also urged the poll body to revert to the paper ballot system.
जो बात बताई गई चुनाव आयोग की तरफ से, उससे तो ऐसा लगता है कि ईवीएम मशीन दिखाई जाएगी। ईवीएम मशीन को आप देख सकते हैं, लेकिन किसी भी प्रकार का कोई टूल्स इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते। किसी भी प्रकार से आप ईवीएम को अपने डिवाइस से, अपने टूल्स से चेक नहीं कर सकते। तो इसका मतलब तो ये सिर्फ एक ईवीएम का डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन टाइप का होगा, जैसे अब तक चुनाव आयोग करता आया है।
On to some other news. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee will meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. She arrived in the national capital on Wednesday evening. Now, during her meeting, she will seek more funds for her state for tackling the financial crisis as well as Ganga erosion. Mamata has been seeking loan waiver for her state for long. Now, Mamata's meeting with the Prime Minister comes ahead of the opposition's hurdle to decide a consensus candidate for the presidential poll on Friday. She is also likely to meet Congress President Sonia Gandhi.
The Ganga erosion problem, and there are some river problems where people are facing a lot. For that matter, I will talk. And also, I have Devcha Patni, that project, so that is also pending. And also, there are some areas where we are not getting the money because our state share. There, I will talk because whenever I go there daily, at least once, twice, I meet in a year. And that is the routine, and that is the courtesy of state to state, this government to government. So for that reason, I upset her.
On to our other top story. Union Cabinet on Wednesday cleared 7 decisions, including the abolition of 25-year-old Foreign Investment Promotion Board and policy for strategic partnership for defence manufacturing. The Cabinet also approved the policy for providing a preference to Make in India in government procurements. Here is a complete report.
Following up on the budget announcement, the NDA government has approved winding up of the 25-year-old Foreign Investment Promotion Board (FIPB), which has been vetting FDI proposals requiring government approval. FIPB will now be replaced by a new mechanism under which the proposals will be approved by the ministries concerned as per the standard operating procedure approved by the Cabinet.
अगर मैं पिछले 3 साल के आंकड़े लूं तो 91% to 95% of FDI has been coming through the automatic route. बहुत कम क्षेत्र बचे हैं, 11 सेक्टर्स बचे हैं जिसमें प्रायर गवर्नमेंट अप्रूवल की आवश्यकता थी. कुछ ऐसे केसेस होंगे जहां सिक्योरिटी कंसर्न्स होंगे तो वहां होम मिनिस्ट्री की भी एडिशनल अप्रूवल चाहिए होगी. तो ये जो 11 सेक्टर्स प्रायर अप्रूवल के बचे हैं, इन 11 के साथ जो उसका उपयुक्त मंत्री विभाग है उसको उसमें जोड़ दिया गया और इसका जो भी स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीजर रहेगा ये प्रस्तावना मंत्रिपरिषद के सामने आई थी जिसको कि आज स्वीकार किया गया है.
In a relief to farmers, the Cabinet also approved Fair and Remunerative Price or FRP payable by sugar mills for 2017 to 18 sugar season.
चीनी का, शुगर का 2017-18 के लिए FRP फेयर एंड रेम्यूनरेटिव प्राइस तय करना था और पिछले वर्ष की तुलना में अब मिल्स की स्थिति कुछ सुधरी है. 10.6% का इंक्रीज और इस कीमत को 255 रुपए पर क्विंटल के हिसाब से तय किया गया है.
The Cabinet also gave its nod to allocation of 2.5% of the Central Road Fund for Development and Maintenance of National Waterways, Noida Greater Noida Metro Rail Corridor, setting up of new AIIMS in Kamrup in Assam. Cabinet in its meeting on Wednesday also approved a policy for providing preference to Make in India in government procurements. This new policy aims to provide substantial boost to domestic manufacturing and services provision, creating employment. Vishal Dahiya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
In Breakfast News, time for a very short break. We'll be right back with more news. Stay tuned.
People from your party are going and joining BJP. What is stopping the party from arresting this kind of a trend?
It's not as if the whole party has gone to them.
Ramchand Guha, after UP elections or a little later, had said that Rahul Gandhi is almost like a serial failure.
I don't think you put the blame of the recent failures of the Congress party at the doorstep of an individual.
Who will be the credible alternative for Modi?
Time will tell. There's nothing called a vacuum in politics.
Watch To The Point with senior Congress leader and Rajya Sabha MP Kapil Sibal only on Rajya Sabha television.
Homai Vyarawala, better known by her pseudonym Dalda 13, was India's first woman photojournalist. Vyarawala entered the field of photojournalism in the late 1930s. For nearly 30 years till she retired in the early 1970s, at the peak of her career, she made a massive impact. Vyarawala clicked some iconic pictures of political and national leaders. Gandhiji, Nehru, Jinnah, Indira Gandhi have been subjects of her vast photographic collection. Prime Minister Nehru, she says, was her favorite. In 2011, Homai Vyarawala was conferred the Padma Vibhushan, the country's second highest civilian award.
Welcome back after the break. Now, the Income Tax Department has summoned RJD Chief Lalu Prasad's daughter Meesa Bharti and her husband in connection with its probe into the alleged 1,000 crore rupees Benami land deals and tax evasion case. The Rajya Sabha member and her husband have been asked to appear before the investigating officer in the first week of June. The couple are alleged to have links with a firm which is suspected to have entered into Benami deals for purchase of a farmhouse in Delhi. The development comes after the ED arrested Chartered Accountant Rajesh Kumar Agarwal on 22nd of May for allegedly aiding illegal transactions involving Lalu's skin. The income tax officers had also conducted raids at over 24 locations in Delhi, which allegedly belonged to Lalu Prasad Yadav's and his relatives through Benami deals. Meanwhile, the Income Tax Department has said that it has identified over 400 Benami transactions and attached to properties worth 600 crore rupees in about 240 cases. The department had last week set up 24 dedicated Benami prohibition units all over the country. It began initiating actions against the new Benami Transactions Prohibition Amendment Act of 2016 from 1st of November last year. The Benami property includes a movable or immovable, tangible or intangible, corporeal or incorporeal property which is in the name of someone other than the beneficial owner. Immovable properties have been attached in 40 cases with a total value of more than 530 crore rupees in Kolkata, Mumbai, Delhi, Gujarat, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. The department has also undertaken searches on 10 senior government officials during the past 1 month. News from down south, Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao has sought an apology from BJP National President Amit Shah for his remarks on the funds given to the state by the central government. Now, questioning the accuracy of the figures provided by Shah on the funds given by the centre, Rao released the amounts that the state had received. Rao challenged Shah's claim that the centre additional 20,000 crore rupees annually to the state. The Chief Minister also offered his resignation if found wrong. Now, continuing his tirade against the BJP President, Rao said that the food eaten by Shah at SC colonies during his 3-day visit to Nalgonda was prepared somewhere else under the supervision of a forward caste party functionary. And the results of the National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test or NEET have been put on hold by the Madras High Court over a petition seeking its cancellation. The interim order restrains the CBSE from releasing key answers, evaluation of papers and declaration of results, which were to be out on 8th of June. Now, alleging that uniform question papers were not given and that different sets of question papers had been used in different places, the petitioners had demanded that the NEET held on 7th of May be cancelled and a fresh examination with a proper uniform question paper be conducted. They also alleged that there was a vast difference between the English and Tamil question papers and that the one in Tamil was easier. The Medical Council of India, the CBSE and the Union Health Ministry have been directed to file their counter affidavits in the case on 7th of June. Big story coming in from Nepal, where Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal resigned on Wednesday, leaving a leadership vacuum just 2 weeks before the second round of local elections. The leadership will now be handed over to Nepali Congress leader Sher Bahadur Dauba. The resignation honors a power sharing agreement which was signed in August last year when the Maoist leader Prachand was elected the Prime Minister with Dauba's support. The pact was to run the government on a rotational basis until elections to the parliament were held in February 2018. Nepal on 14th of May voted in the country's first local level polls in 2 decades as the nation is taking steps towards cementing democracy amid political turmoil. The new government will be responsible for completing the remaining phases of the local polls, a precursor to the national elections due to be held by the end of this year.
म आजै र अहिले नै प्रधानमन्त्री पदबाट राजीनामाको घोषणा गर्दछु र म यहाँबाट सिधै सम्माननीय राष्ट्रपति कहाँ गएर आफ्नो राजीनामा पेश गर्दैछु।
Now, continuing with his Middle East and Europe tour, US President Donald Trump is in Brussels for talks with the NATO members. Now, during the meet, France and Germany are likely to agree for a US plan for NATO to take a bigger role in fight against Islamist militants. Trump will also deliver a short speech at the gathering. After landing in Brussels, Trump met the Belgian king and queen as thousands of people demonstrated against his presence in Brussels city centre. This comes as Trump has voiced criticism of other NATO countries for spending less on defence than an agreed 2% of the national output. Trump is also due to meet European Union officials on a Thursday. He has been critical of both NATO and the EU.
As the president has said, he really wants to persuade NATO members to step up and fully meet their obligations under burden sharing. The 2% of GDP was a target they all agreed to. I think you can expect the president to be very tough on them on saying, look, the U.S. is spending 4%. We're doing a lot. The American people are doing a lot for your security, for our joint security. You need to make sure you're doing your share for your own security as well. So I think that's going to be the core of his message to NATO.
Earlier on Wednesday, Trump was in Italy where he met Pope Francis at the Vatican. After the meet, Trump said that he was more determined than ever to pursue peace in the world. The two men had in the past clashed on issues such as migration, climate change and Mexico-US. The Vatican said afterwards that the two men shared a commitment to life and freedom of worship and conscience and expressed hope that they could collaborate in various fields. Trump also visited the Vatican's 500-year-old Sistine Chapel and also met Italian President Sergio Mattarella at the Quirinale Palace in Rome. And on to the other top international story. Now, 3 policemen have been killed and 10 others have been injured after 2 suspected suicide bombings near a bus terminal in Indonesia's capital, Jakarta. Now, among those who were killed are... In fact, those who are injured are 5 policemen. The explosion occurred in a parking lot next to the bus terminal in eastern Jakarta. Now, a bomb squad was investigating the explosion as heavily armed police and soldiers guarded the area. Reports also say that an anti-terror squad had immediately raided 2 houses believed to be owned by the perpetrators in neighbouring province of Banten and West Java, but the results have not been known as yet.
Kita sedang melakukan olah TKP, mohon rekan-rekan sabar karena ini juga masih sebenarnya wilayah yang rawan di sini karena harus disterilkan. Ya, kita harus waspada, rekan-rekan juga harus menjaga keselamatan dalam bertugas sehingga mohon diberikan waktu kepada kami dari Polri untuk olah TKP dulu.
And now in follow-up on the Manchester attack, and a 7th person has been arrested in the UK over the arena bombing as police said that they are investigating a network. Now, a flurry of raids and arrests on Wednesday took aim at a terror network associated with the 22-year-old Salman Abedi, who conducted the deadly bombing at the Ariana Grande concert in Manchester. Now, UK intelligence services are looking at the possibility that Abedi could have met with Islamic State members or operatives from the Al-Qaeda. Those arrested include Abedi's older brother, while his father and the younger brother have also been detained by militia in Libya. Reports say that Abedi went to Libya after getting into trouble in UK. The attacker then returned to UK days after the bombing. The attack in Manchester left 22 people dead. The UK terror threat level is now at its highest level of critical, meaning that more attacks may be imminent. Military personnel are being deployed to protect key sites.
I think it's very clear that this is a network that we are investigating, and as I've said, it continues at a pace. There's extensive investigations going on and activity taking place across Greater Manchester as we speak.
بعملية التفجير اللي حدثت في مانشستر، وبدور اني قمت فتحت التلفاز وشفت BBC وورلد وتبعت الخبر ان قالوا اشتباه فقط، وبديت ننتظر في الاخبار لعند الصباح، ومن الصباح ما جابوش اي خبر.
And let's get you some more international news in World Wrap. According to diplomatic sources, NATO is to join the US-led anti-Islamic State coalition. This is in line with the key demand of President Donald Trump that the alliance should do more to fight Islamist terrorism. Trump will meet NATO leaders in Brussels today to press his case, with a deadly IS-claimed bomb attack in Manchester high on the agenda. The bodies of at least 34 migrants, many of them young children, were recovered from the Sea of Libya. It was after some 200 migrants tumbled into rough waters when their overcrowded smugglers' boat capsized. The capsizing incident was one of the several rescue operations coordinated by the Italian Coast Guard. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries will formally meet in Vienna today. It will consider whether to prolong the deal reached in December, in which OPEC and 11 non-member nations agreed to cut their output by nearly 1.8 million barrels per day in the first half of 2017. Now, top oil producers in OPEC, Saudi Arabia favors extending the output cuts by 9 months. Now to some sports news now. Hours before India left for England to play the Champions Trophy, now Captain Virat Kohli said that the team's best chances of defending the title was by not burdening themselves with the prospect. Kohli said that the presence of players like Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Yuvraj Singh in the squad will add to the experience. Now, terming the Champions Trophy tougher than the World Cup, Kohli said that winning for India was the only thing that mattered to him. The tournament, featuring top 8 one-day sides, will start from 1st of June. India have 2 practice matches to play ahead of the tournament against New Zealand and Bangladesh. The defending champions begin their Group B campaign against arch rivals Pakistan in Birmingham on 4th of June.
I think the first challenge is not to think about the fact that we are defending the title. When we went there the last time, we just wanted to enjoy ourselves as a young unit, and then we ended up winning the tournament, and we ended up creating a team which has done so well so far. But from that team as well, there have been a few changes made, from that team as well. So right now, I think, again, our mindset is very similar, to go out there and enjoy our cricket, which we have done in the past couple of years. And in Test cricket, we have been able to reach the top with that mindset, having the hunger to win, and we want to take it across all formats.
And the Indian badminton team on Wednesday sealed a place in the knockout stage of the Sudirman Cup Mixed Teams Championship to set up a quarter-final slowdown with the 10-time champions China. Now, putting aside their dismal performance in the tie against Denmark, India defeated Indonesia 4-1 in a do-or-die encounter, which helped them qualify for the quarterfinals at the Gold Coast. Now, India, Denmark and Indonesia won 1 match each. But India qualified for the knockout stage on the basis of the number of games won. Now, Denmark, having won 6 matches and lost 4, topped the group, followed by India and Indonesia. Meanwhile, PV Sindhu was elected as the member of the BWF Athletes Commission after the end of voting for the 4 places on the representative body at Gold Coast. The 21-year-old Rio Games silver medalist topped the ballot with 129 votes. The voting took place on the sidelines of the ongoing Sudirman Cup as well as via email during the past month. A total of 183 valid votes were cast. That's all in this edition of news. Thanks for watching.